Welcome everybody to another episode of the 3 a.m. Football Fans Talk featuring myself, Anirudh and Sanil Javeri, a really good friend of mine. So, as you can see, we're all dressed up to support the club we love, but we gotta talk some stuff today, my friend. We gotta talk about the game that just went by, the game against Palace. We predicted 3-0 each, but turns out that we got battered 3-1. So let's just get over to the review, shall we, and see what we see about the game and how the club is going to head on post Palace. So, what are your thoughts about the game in general? Because
Man,
I thought we played a terrible game of football. Honestly, no desire, no ambition, no heart to play for the club. They're just walking on the pitch, man, and that's not what you do as a United player.
right, I agree. And it was almost like, you know, it was like they were going through the motions. They just came out and they were like, oh, okay, we're just gonna. It's like when you and me go to the turf and play, man. They just came. I mean, there's more fight in that game, right? Where was
True.
there was no 50-50s. We won no 50-50s. There was no attacking intent in that whole game. Our center forwards, right? Martial, Greenwood, Rashford, Igalo came on, right? And Daniel James started, and Greenwood, of course, came on. Between them, how many shots on target did we have? Zero.
None.
Zero.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it was a baffling, baffling performance to start off with. And we predicted 3-0 positivity going into the club, but I think, like, do the players realize that the new season has started? That's the real question at this point, right? I mean, they just came out like it's a preseason fixture. So,
Honestly, I was actually baffled by the fact that, I remember talking to you on chat as well, saying that, man, this is the first game of the season. I mean, it all starts from
exactly.
zero.
Right.
Why can't we stamp our authority saying that, look, this is the squad we have, this is what we want to do, and it's a 38 game season to win the title, and we're going for it from day one.
Right. No,
And
I mean,
to make matters worse, right?
right.
Crystal Palace have scored 31 goals in the league last season.
It's a Roy
31.
Hodgson team. It's a Roy Hodgson team. This is here's the biggest issue, right? And again, we talk about, I mean, winning leagues. I personally don't think we're at that level at this point. I mean, with our current squad, it's I mean, no matter how positive we are going into it, the reality is what it is, man. Look at City, right? In their reserves, they have 50 million signings, right? So we're not at that level. It's not. It's a fact. But the point, coming to what you said, where where was the ambition, right? Like there was none.
I can't see any ambition,
Exactly.
honestly.
So I mean, it's I'm personally ridiculous, man. Game one of the season, Crystal Palace, right? They're a Roy Hodgson team. You go 1-0 down to them, they are going to park the bus. It's pretty simple. That's how they play. And I mean, you know what? Full credit to them, man. That's how they play, and that's how
Oh,
they
they,
get the
they played
points.
well, honestly. They were really good.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, they did deserve the 3 points. I think Gary Neville was in commentary and he mentioned it too. They were full value for the result that they got. The problem that we have as Man United fans right now is that what was our team doing on that pitch? We had creators, we had attackers, we had the potential to go out and take for it. And I mean, yeah, Victor Lindelof, right? That's the big talking point at this
Talking
point.
point. Yeah, yeah.
Victor Lindelof committing three errors, three
Oh, I will say just holding. Sorry to interrupt you, but I will
definitely.
say that for the penalty, right?
Right.
It was inadvertent. So let's give him a pass on that.
I agree.
Right?
I agree. It
But
was. I
on
agree. It
an
was.
air ball front, aerially, and you're up against leave aerially also. You're up against Andros Townsend and Wilfred Zaha. We know that they're quick on the ball. They're like they kind of
Right.
know they kind of cut in,
Right.
go left and right,
Right.
right? Schoolboy errors.
Schoolboy errors made. Look at the first goal, right? And again, I mean, I don't want to go into details about each and every goal and analyze them from a Sky Sports pundit
Uh,
perspective, but the point is that the errors were so avoidable. On the third goal, it's a straight ball that's coming through. He's gotten megged. He's like, it's like, Pele against the goalkeeper. How Pele would pull up at a fake, get the goalkeeper sucked in, go around him and score. That's what he's done from a defensive perspective. Only that it's cost us a goal. I mean,
Honestly, I'm lost for words given how rudimentary our defending was on the day because the first goal is completely avoidable,
but
like completely avoidable.
the cross could have should have been stopped. The cross wasn't stopped, right? Our centre back that was at the penalty spot was too far away from the goal to actually do anything about it. Our defensive midfielder was not covering inside for the second centre back, and our left back has completely missed the ball. So, I mean,
Easy cross, and that's when everybody misses it becomes a world class cross,
right?
right? I'm sorry
Yeah,
for the miswording of
no, no, dude, you're perfectly right. I mean, was it really a world
good
class
cross.
cross?
No, it wasn't.
It was a good cross, but again, the point being that, I mean, I don't want to delve deep into each goals, because at the end of the day,
It was a bad performance,
it
mate.
was a
It was a
bad
terrible
it was a
performance.
bad performance by every player
No,
on the
this
pitch.
was, I'll tell you what, this was shades of Southampton away all over again. You remember the game where we couldn't play one pass?
Right,
Mate, I was me standing like 5 feet next to you and I'm not able to play a pass. That is
agreed,
like, that's the most painful thing a fan can see. And this
agreed,
was so all over the place.
agreed.
And we have, and let's just move on from the game to another point, that talking point. Van der Beek, man. He's so agile. He's so good on the ball, and I loved seeing him play every single minute when until the match got over. So
Yep.
smooth,
I mean,
and he's waiting for the runs. Man,
right,
it's just
and
showing.
it's
Just make a run, man.
it's
I will give it to you.
it was interesting with Donny, because, I mean, of course, he got the goal. He was on for about, what, 15-20 minutes.
20 minutes
Could
stops. Yeah,
could he have started? I mean, I said in my preview that I thought Donny should have started the game. Could he have actually started ahead of Pogba? Because Pogba did look tired.
yeah. He was tired.
He looked like he was coming back from COVID. So that, in my and again, this is, I just felt that maybe Donny could have started the game. His 1-2s around the box were good. Link up play was good, but then again, 15 minutes, dire situation. I mean, personally, in my opinion, I enjoyed watching him play. That's the biggest compliment I can give him, because the rest of the team was so lackluster and so boring.
Oh,
It was sideways and backwards. It was like 2015 all over again. Everything went sideways. Everything went backwards. There was
went backwards. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no. Who, you know, which player grabbed the team by the scruff of the neck and said that, you know what, I'm going to take a risk here. I'm going to make a risky pass. I'm going to make a risky shot. going to do something different, something inventive. The game was crying out for that. And there was nothing. There was no fight, no desire. And, personally, going on to the bigger picture of why that happened onto the pitch, I mean, there was a lot of discussion right after the game saying that, oh, we did not have a preseason. And Ollie mentioned that in the presser too. But then you see City come out today and do the job away at Molineux. I mean, let's be honest.
Molineux is a really tough ground to go
Let's
and
be
play, by
honest.
the way.
Let's
And judging by what
right,
we've seen in previous seasons, right?
right.
Every club almost has struggled at Molineux. They're a good side, man. I'm not
Oh,
denying it.
no, no,
Wolves are a
definitely.
terrific squad, right?
Wolves are, in my opinion, they are a top six side
Genuine,
for
genuine
sure.
Europa League contenders,
They
like for sure.
they are a giant killer. They're a great team, and the manager, again, Nuno, massive credit to him. He's a great manager. The point that I'm trying to make is, right. The preseason, not having a preseason, is an excuse in my opinion. I think the biggest problem, I mean, to the result, and again, it kind of felt like the players knew what the atmosphere around our team has been for the past 2 months. You could see
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I
true.
mean, you look at
And I'm not gonna blame Twitter or anything here, but it's gonna been on the negative for quite a while. That's why I'm
it's
like, let's be optimistic.
ever
It's a new season. Let's
exactly.
as all I say is kick on, man. Just
Relax,
go. Start at
relax,
zero.
start.
Everything is zero, 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 zero.
Agreed,
Start out.
agreed. And I mean, and it's almost like everything since that loss to Seville in the semi-final of the Europa League, everything
Spiral.
since then has been
It's been a downward spiral.
exactly downward spiral. That's the perfect way to put it. It has been a downward spiral, and it's almost like the toxicity and negativity that has been
It's
around the club.
back.
No, it's back. It's going into the players, and with getting a loss on the opening day at home against Crystal Palace, that thing just spiked 100%. It spiked
Yeah,
so much more.
true.
I mean, you tell me, mate, Luke Shaw, right, our left back, is coming out in the, and forget about his performances and his performances in general, all that kept aside. A player of the squad is coming out after the game in the post-match presser and saying that we
We
need
need
we need
signings.
signings to replenish the squad.
I'm crying. It doesn't happen like that. Sir, you're a player in the biggest club in the world. You don't come out and say that. I mean,
I
I'm a
was
fan. I'm crying because he said that.
I
And
was
does it mean that the others is he, I'm not going to go into, as you said, we're not going to go into the details of
right,
and the integrities of why or who is he referring to as bad
right,
player. No, but it pains me to even listen to comments like that because, in on one side, it shows to the other fans that, our own player is coming out and then he's reinforcing the fact that our squad needs signings
right,
and, just putting in those with a pinch of salt,
right.
putting it in that, what, we're not good enough.
It's not good enough. It's not good enough. And this is what, and again, right, last season, again, towards the end, there was an optimism, right? I personally said it that, we will add a trophy to our to our third place finish. We should be adding either the Europa League or the FA Cup, and I was extremely optimistic about it. But looking at those semi-final performances against Chelsea and Seville, it was evident that this is as far as this team can go. 66 points,
Absolutely.
66 points, probably.
And mind you, Bruno dragged us by the way
Right,
for a large period of time. He
right,
played like 120, 90, 120, 90, 90,
right,
120.
right,
He,
right,
he played like a machine,
right.
honestly.
The
And if he had a bad performance against Crystal Palace, right?
right,
And given the amount of games that he's played since he's
right.
come into the club, I would give him a free pass.
No, I mean, honestly, to be fair, did Bruno have a bad game
He
here and there?
no,
From, if you're judging him at a standard that he has been since he's been at the club, it was relatively a poor game, but I still think he was the best out of that midfield.
true. Honestly, I was
Pogba was all over the place, all over the place. He could not make a 2 yard pass. He was passing it to the Crystal Palace player, and I don't blame Pogba here because the man's coming back from COVID.
yeah, it helped. And I was actually very surprised that Pogba started, which we touched upon earlier. But I want to go back to the Shaw, interview,
Hmm.
and then which is gonna be our next. I'm gonna transition into our next set of
Right,
discussion points. That's the players have to prove themselves against Luton. We're talking
right,
about Luton Town
right,
in the Carabao Cup. And traditionally, we see, the B teams or whatever, the
right,
players who normally don't, start
right,
Premier League games play in the Carabao Cup. And if he says, this is the chance for people to step up and we kick on,
right,
right?
right,
I'm scared about, the lack of faith among the players from the manager.
right,
Because if you notice, right, we don't make a substitution until like 85, 86. Does that speak about reluctance to bring on a
right,
player?
right,
I am not the perfect judge of that because our manager knows what he's doing.
right,
He's the manager of the biggest club in the world. He knows what he's doing. But when he says there are players to prove themselves against
mm,
Luton Town,
right,
we're not talking about Chelsea. We're not talking about Nottingham Forest. We're
right,
not talking about Ipswich. We're not talking about Wembley. We're
right,
talking about Luton Town.
right.
No disrespect to Luton Town, right?
Well, I mean,
To
they're a
qualify
championship.
in the Carabao Cup,
No, I
Cup
mean,
and then play to the level they're playing now. No disrespect to them, but
well, that's another thing,
we're
right?
expected to beat them, right? And we're not, we don't expect to, that was like the last thing I expected.
Right,
Our manager coming out and tell that some of our players will get a chance to play and they need to prove themselves. What does that say? It speaks volumes.
right.
What are your thoughts about that?
Personally, I mean, I agree with you, man, because I look at this, I look at this as when Ollie comes out and says that we need that players have to come out and prove themselves against Luton. Luton are a championship side, no question about it. They were League One, they're the championship side, and to be fair, here's where my biggest problem starts, right? They're a championship side who have won, I think I was just checking that. They have won 2 out of 2 to start off the season in the championship. Incredibly difficult.
Right.
We are the favorites going into that, overwhelming favorites. But are we going in with that much confidence as a Manchester United team should be going in with? No.
Of course not.
There's negativity, there's toxicity, and the players when we talk about Shaw's interview and Ollie's interview, and now we include the video that Rio has recently released, the 20-minute rant that Patrice has recently released, right? And,
It pains me.
and Gary Neville has been talking about this too. So now we have former players of the club, along with our current players and our manager, coming out and saying that they agree to the toxicity. They understand why the toxicity is there, and it clearly shows that it is affecting them and it's affecting the players. My problem at the end of the day is you're playing for Man United. Yeah, the board has an issue, the CEO is an issue, the negotiator is an issue. I agree. But the minute you put on that shirt and the minute you step onto that pitch, you need to know who you are representing. You're
You play
representing
for the name in the
Manchester.
front.
You are representing Manchester United. You go out on that pitch and give 120%. You run your bollocks off. There is no question about that. And when there is negativity being shown by our players and by our ex-players and by our manager, I'm personally going into this Luton game with not much confidence. I mean, we should be slotting them away, but I don't get enough confidence, and I personally feel that Ollie will look to rotate at this point because, I mean, why shouldn't he after the weekend's performance, right? Who from the weekend, who really can come out and say that they have earned their spot in the team,
Donny.
right?
Donny.
Van de Beek's probably the only one who can come out and say he's going to start, and he got a good goal. He had some good movement, but then again, he's new. I mean, how long does the new signing boost last? So it's bad, man. It's negative. It's bad. So I don't know what
Yeah.
we're going for
I'll
against
tell you.
Luton.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna reiterate one of your points. About donning the Man United shirt. It's kind of easy for us to sit here and then tell that what, because you're donning the Man United shirt, the biggest club in the world. I don't know how many times I've told this, but you know, my belief, your belief, as fans of the biggest club in the world by far, you
Oh,
know what, you put your 120%. But people
right.
will come out and tell us, who are you guys to tell, the players they know what they do. I agree, man. We're nobody. But you know what? It pains me to see our
Well,
club like this
well, so here's my thing.
because
You're 100% spot on, and sorry to interrupt you there. You're 100% spot on, and here's what I would like to say. It doesn't matter if you're playing at Manchester United, you're playing at Liverpool, you're playing at Real Madrid, or you're playing at Fleetwood. It doesn't matter. You are a
you play
professional
you
foot.
play for
Yeah,
100%.
you're a professional footballer. The minute you put the shirt on, it doesn't matter you're the biggest club in the world, or if you're at a League Two club who's fighting for survival, or mid-table League Two club. It doesn't matter. This is your profession. You're a professional footballer. The minute you put on the shirt of your club, you better be ready to give 120%. And the reason I say that is, dude, I put on, I put on a, I put on a replica jersey to play on the turf, and I know I have to give 120% out there. It's it pains me when players don't give 100% effort on the pitch. I mean, sometimes you can give complete effort and lose the game, and that's fine. I agree, no problem about it. But when you don't give effort and you put on a performance like that, it pisses me off, mate. It does my head in because
Honestly, yeah, yeah, I agree because come to think of it, our next game, right, our next Premier League game,
right.
before this, right, I want to tell you something. I was reading a post or a tweet even,
Hmm.
which said that United are already 6 points off.
It's true.
And I'm just nodding my head saying that, yeah, I think you're right, sir.
Yeah, it's
We are
true.
6 points off.
6 points. 6 points off the title is title. The title isn't the ambition. The title is the ambition of the fans. It's the ambition of the manager. It's the ambition of the players. But no one above that really cares about it. So I mean, personally, again,
It's always been like, one step forward, and
right,
then 4, 5, 6, 7 steps back.
right. I agree.
Because, okay, let's take out the time, after right after the great man Sir Alex left.
Right,
Let's not talk about the time. We won the FA Cup with Van Gaal.
right,
We won the FA Cup with Louis Van Gaal. No disrespect to him.
right.
He's one of the best managers the world has ever seen.
Agreed. Master
Right.
tactician, absolute genius. No question about
Genius.
it.
Right. We let him go, and then we sign another genius in football,
Right.
Jose.
Jose,
Right.
serial winner.
Serial winner. And honestly, it doesn't get bigger than Jose.
Right. I agree.
Right. And I remember those games, Sevilla,
Right.
Southampton, Newcastle, Matthew
Correct.
Longstaff.
Yep.
Right. Newcastle. Was Jose in stars that game? I don't
No, I
remember.
think that was only last season, but
Right.
that
You're
was
right.
only
You're
last
right.
season.
There were games, right?
There
The
were
Sevilla one
definitely
in particular.
well,
That was,
right.
and it so happened. And then we see our players, like ex-players like Lukaku, who's come and spoken about what happened in the club, right? And credit to Lukaku, he's just smashing it at Inter,
Oh, he's killing it.
right?
That
Right.
team's made for
And
him.
we see our ex-players like Ashley Young, Chris Smalling,
Hmm.
right? And the Italian league, okay, we can
Right.
say that they're going to a different league, language barriers and all of that, but
No, they're
they've been
performing.
they've performed,
Right.
right?
Right.
And we ask, and that was my thought process really.
Hmm.
When we were at United,
Hmm.
right? Ashley Young was a good player, a
Great,
really good player for
great
was a
servant to the club. No question about
great servant to the club, right? Ashley Young, Chris Smalling, someone who understands the DNA of the club, someone who knows what it takes to win. At least Chris Smalling, he's been captain. And to be honest with you, he's amazing aerially. Like I know a lot of people will come at me with sticks and stones to pelt, saying that Chris Smalling is not good aerially. But given the current crop of defenders we have, Axel, barring Axel, and a fully fit Eric Bailly,
it. Hmm.
right? I
Right.
don't see anybody better than Smalling,
He did,
Chris
he did,
Smalling
he did,
aerially.
he did, he did have those two amazing seasons, one under Van Gaal, one under Mourinho. No question about it.
Right?
So,
And we were the best defensively when him and Daily Blind, I'm talking about Daily Blind, who
I mean,
everybody branded as slow,
right.
we were the best defensive setup in the league.
That was Van Gaal. I think we got. I think we were
Right.
close
So
to. We were close to being the close to the Golden Glove. I think De Gea was close to it.
absolutely,
One of
absolutely.
the
He
two
was
of them.
he was tied. He was tied with some he
Right.
was tied, I guess.
Right.
The reason why I say all this is we say
Right.
transition, right?
Right.
And I say this because I've seen other clubs
Hmm.
undergo transition, but you can visibly see the difference.
Right.
But what are we doing? We
Right.
go one step in front, make
Right.
insanely good signings, stellar signings.
Right.
Credit to all the people who pull off these signings. No, no holds barred. Credit to them. Good stuff. But right after that, we go like 8 steps backward. We can't play a 2 yard pass.
Well, when you talk about the signings again, and this will probably take our time a little longer than
Yeah,
we
yeah. So
normally
let's
wanted,
let's
but
keep the signings for another day then.
no, no,
Well,
definitely. I just a small touch on that
sure, sure.
before we go on to talking about Luton. With the signings, here's the thing. I think it was I forget if it was I think it was Evra or Rio. One of them said it recently. Uh, they said that why are these players coming to Man United? What is their motivation of coming to Man United? Is it really to come, take responsibility, and improve the team? Or is it just because of a giant paycheck? And that's the biggest question that I'm personally asking now because we are splashing money over the odds for players who are not motivated. So we're basically wasting money. I mean, what has it been 700 million since Sir Alex left? How many
Easily.
how many of those actually wanted to play for the patch, right? How many of those
I
how
have
how many of those actually showed us that they have the mentality to play for Manchester United on that pitch? Forget winning the title. Title was never a question.
hardly. I can barely count, man. Like literally. And you notice the number of people who come and gone in these 7 seasons.
Right. There was some
You can make an entire starting 11 out of
and
that
there was some
almost.
and there were some quality players. That Di Maria, hate that snake. I can't stand the guy. quality player. Memphis,
Memphis, yeah.
Memphis
Oh,
quality. Lukaku quality. So
Zlatan, man. They don't get bigger than Zlatan. Zlatan,
Zlatan,
Falcao.
Zlatan was a different beat. Falcao again a little bit of a free pass coming out of that injury, and then
Daily Blind, the most underappreciated footballer ever, in my opinion. Right?
you
And
look
then we had like really good players, man. We had Maru and Fellaini, who's bailed the club out,
in
more
big
than more than me, you, and him can remember together.
right big goals and big moments. Of course, he was a scapegoat, but
Yeah, he
as
was made a scapegoat,
right,
honestly. Right?
right, right,
And so after all of this, when we come back to Luton and then we say that
right.
we
What
gotta prove ourselves.
That's what I'm saying. And what lineup are we expecting to go in with at Luton? What are your thoughts on the
I
lineup
I'm saying Diogo Dalot starts for sure.
at right back?
Yeah, at right back.
Okay.
Right. And I think Matic plays.
Mm-hmm.
Matic, um, Eric Bailly plays.
Mm-hmm.
Sergio Romero, of course.
Romero, I would say Dean Henderson, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. Henderson plays. I think Henderson plays FA Cup or something like that. I don't know the goalkeeper permutations because they're all good. All of them are.
I personally think Romero's on his way out this window. So I'd see Dean Henderson starting tomorrow.
Okay, let's put it this way. Okay, Dean Henderson.
Right.
I think Eric Bailly starts. I don't know who will gonna partner Eric Bailly.
Right.
That's a mystery for me.
Right.
I think Brandon Williams plays left back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Van de Beek plays, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. Or I don't know, he might be rested for the next game. Who do we wait? I think we
It's
play
Brighton away. Away to
yeah,
Brighton.
Brighton away. And trust me, Brighton are playing really good football.
Brighton are playing excellent
They
football.
just wall up Newcastle for three, and
They're
I'm
playing
scared, man.
excellent
I'm
football.
honestly scared, and I want Van de Beek to play that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Matic, Fred,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, who's the other guy in midfield? I don't probably Matic, Fred, and
McTominay, Mata,
McTominay maybe. No, Mata plays. Yeah,
Mata.
one Mata man.
Mm-hmm.
If
He's
after
quality.
all of that, yeah, he's too good. He's
It's just
absolute quality.
legs. That's the problem, legs.
Yeah,
What about an attack then?
I think Igalo plays. I think Igalo plays.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ted and Mengi also plays.
Hotel Mengi alongside Eric Bailly then at centre back.
I think so. I think Ted and Mengi plays that game.
Mm-hmm. And then the flanks,
Mm,
James, Greenwood.
Ja- James and I think Rashford plays against Luton. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know
Again,
because
he
we are.
he does like to play Rashford in every game. So
Yeah, yeah. I think Rashford plays against Luton. I'm really, you know, on the hook here because of the lineup. I'm not able to predict honestly
yeah,
who.
because
Oh,
of
he plays
the
Lingard. Lingard plays that, by the way. I really think he plays. Let's 1 second. I will tell you who all played against Aston Villa in the friendly.
Okay, so I'll tell you my predicted lineup and while you check that because I personally think Dean Henderson goes in goal. Um, uh, right back, I think he might just stick with Fosu Mensah for one more game because I see Aaron back for Brighton, so he might stick with Fosu Mensah again at right back. Just give him more minutes.
I
Uh,
think you're right. I think you're right because Foster Mensah started
Aston
against
Villa
Villa in
too.
the friendly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
think he
he
sticks.
played he played McTominay, Van de Beek, and Lingard in midfield.
Right,
And he played James, Igalo, and Rashford
right.
in the attack.
Right. So I personally think that he starts Fossum inside right back. Centre back, Eric Bailly, I agree, probably comes in. I don't see him dropping Maguire. Maguire will start. He will captain again. Left back, Brandon. I agree with you on that. So I think we will finally see the Maguire Bailly pairing, which we have been asking for a while. In
And
midfield,
mind you, they played the same pairing against Chelsea, right? If I'm not wrong,
yes.
Maguire and Bailly, and
Oh,
Bailly was outstanding that
yeah.
game.
I mean, they do on paper they look like players who will complement each other. So let's see how that
Eric
plays out.
Bailly, a fully fit Eric Bailly,
He's a
according to me, is one of the best centre backs in the league.
uh,
Period.
again, we haven't seen that enough, though. That's the problem. We haven't seen
Exactly,
that.
because he's reckless, right?
That's the problem, right? It's almost like saying that, it's a weird one, right? It's We cannot talk about, a fully fit, because ifs and buts every time. That's the problem. But I
Yeah,
mean,
and this is his
on
what, fifth
on
season with the club, right?
on paper they do look like they would complement each other pretty well. So we will see how that goes. And so
Hmm.
yeah, that's my
And
back
you're
four.
saying, and your midfield.
My midfield, uh, I think he starts McTominay. I think he starts Donny. I think Donny starts, and then the Lingard one is kind of confusing. I think he might throw in Jesse in there as well. Um, and then
And strike, you mentioned Rashford plays.
Rashford plays, Igalo plays, and then possibly Daniel James. So what are we going for as predictions?
I don't know, man. I mean, we've been. It's. Look at me. I'm kind of struggling to come up with a score line against Luton Town. No disrespect to them again, right?
I'm going.
But
I'm going for a scrappy game. I feel it will be 2-1 to United.
I want to keep a clean sheet, man. Boost my hopes. Come on, be optimistic. Going for a
I
2-0.
I think it's gonna be you're going for a 2-0. All right, I'm
Yeah,
going
yeah.
for a 2-1, man. Let's see.
Because Eric Bailly plays, I'm saying 2-0. But yeah, I respect the fact that you're telling me that it's going to be a scrappy game. But
Okay.
if it is, I mean, there is all probability that it
Right,
maybe was a scrappy game.
right.
Because remember, we're the ones who forced, was it Yeovil?
Bristol. We
Yeovil,
lost to Bristol. Dartford. We
still,
had a shootout recently. We've been terrible,
we
man.
lost to
Personally,
MK Dons. Yeah, yeah,
we've
we've
had
had some
hiccups here and
history
there.
with this
Oh
cup
my God.
games.
I personally think 2-1 scrappy. We'll scrape through. So let's see. Let's see how it goes, man.
Yeah, let's see, and hopefully,
Just want to win.
we
Just want to
hopefully, as
win.
Ollie says, we gotta kick on.
Yeah. And I mean,
So
tomorrow is the financial meeting as well with the club. That club has their financial meeting with the board to see quarterly analysis for June. I don't know how that will impact our transfer business, but let's hope something positive comes out of it. Ed's put his house on sale, which is what everyone's tracking now. It's
yeah,
getting
yeah.
pretty ridiculous. It's out of hand. But
But you know what? We're gonna talk only about what we know
I
rather
agree.
than
I agree.
speculating.
I agree. That's what I'm saying.
So
At the end
with
of the day,
that,
at the end of the
yeah,
day,
yeah.
that's what I want to
Go ahead,
see.
go ahead.
I want to see Man United play. I want to see us win some
Yeah,
momentum, a good
we play
performance.
we play
So
to win and we play to win titles. That's Man United, and there's no two ways about it.
true, we're far away from them, but at least we have to give our 100% going in tomorrow. I just want to see some fight from the players, a good performance, and man, I just want to win. I can't. If we lose to Luton, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, we're gonna be back here for the next episode.
It's
Talking
gonna.
about two games in a row, and I really can't put up a brave
I
face anymore.
agree. I agree.
With that said, so thank you so much, Sanil, and
Perfect.
I hope everybody enjoyed this episode of the
Yep.
3 a.m. football fans.
Yep. We'll be back. We'll be
I'm
back.
gonna be I'm gonna be chanting tomorrow,
Yep.
be it Luton away, Luton home,
I agree.
you know, Ellen Road, Portman Road, Anfield, wherever
We'll
it
be
is,
back.
wherever we go play, we'll be back.
We're with
You
the
know,
team always, and we'll be back next for the Brighton game then.
yeah, yeah, we'll be back before the Brighton game, hopefully,
Yes,
with another
before the
episode of
right.
3 a.m. football fans. So stay tuned,
Agree.
guys.
All right. Perfect. Thank you, Anirudh. See you soon, man.
All right. Yep.
Bye.